Right. Has everybody made themselves a cup of tea? Was it just me?
No, me too.
Yeah. So I think we can start easing into the general discussion, and see a few hands have popped up here. I think Tim, your hand was up first, so I think we can kick off with you, and then move on to Astrid, and then take it from there.
Thank you. Just first of all, as a comment to say, well done. It's really impressive what you've made, and fabulous to see all the work and the detail and the rigor that you put into it, into the platform and to the collation of the data. And so it's really, really great to see what you've built. Obviously, we have some interest in building similar platforms, and from the technology side, it's interesting to see that you've used some overlapping tools with us, for example, Django and so on. So there's it would be very interesting, maybe not now, but to have some kind of like a nerd get together, technology get together, just to see what you're doing and if there's any room for complementarity between us. I'm saying us as in terms of the BIMS, the platform that we're using in with FRC, the FBIS project, and with University of Rwanda. Because it's always nice to collaborate and share experiences, even if it's just to share our human experience in building a platform. But if there's also potential code sharing, that would be wonderful to do as well. So I just put that comment there firstly, and then also another comment that sort of struck me seeing this platform is I was wondering if it wouldn't be, I noticed that you're using freshwaterbiodiversity.org.ug, and the FBIS one is freshwaterbiodiversity.org. And it's quite nice that there's a network of websites with the same, freshwater biodiversity, and then that are country specific. Maybe we should get the org.za one for FBIS as well, Jeremy. And I was thinking that it could be interesting to create a kind of some kind of like a network between the different platforms, even if it's just having on every site like a little logo that says we're part of the Freshwater Biodiversity Network or something like that. And that when you click on the link, it somehow takes you to your page where you can find all the other sites. Because I think a lot of the work that we all do goes undiscovered, and it would be great to kind of build into our approach in all of these projects a way that the network is exposed to the wider world. So those are my comments. I would love to, like I said, have a more deeper technical chat, but I won't, for the biologists, I won't bore you with discussions of lines of code and things here. But I think there are some nerds amongst us here, Hugo, as well, who might be interested in just looking under the hood at what you've done and showing you what we've done as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. And I really like the suggestion of sort of formalizing a collective of African bioinformatics projects, and maybe those connections can take different forms. But I think one of the objectives of this African bioinformatics series that we can start addressing and fleshing out in some of the later sessions in the series is exactly what we want to do in terms of formalizing a collective of these different projects and these different organizations working essentially towards very similar objectives in different countries. So I think that's going to be an exciting part of the series, and yeah, a good point. Astrid, I saw you had a hand up.
Yeah, hello from Europe. And I really want to thank you for these presentations. They are enlightening. So also for Europeans, where you would think everything is already there, I'm still impressed what you are setting up there in Africa. Really a great work. And I also very much appreciate that you also today said or talked very much about the challenges of data mobilization. And I can just say it's the same in Europe. It's a tedious process to get the data in there, especially from different experts. And it's much of convincing work to be done that people really give their data to a portal. So that's why I always like to use the term publish data instead of sharing data, because the term publishing gives more recognition. So really, to have the citation of the data within a data portal, this is one of the crucial points. Yeah, so thanks for that. My question would be related to, I see the point that why you decided to develop the portal locally, meaning using local resources and not jumping on something that is already there, some out of the box systems. But of course, like the Atlas of Living Australia, this is also just, you would just learn how to set it up, and then it would be locally hosted. So you could have done this also, but because now it seems like little bit you are reinventing the wheel, or you are developing the same things in parallel, for example, in South Africa and in Uganda. But I appreciate that you wanted to use this, or you wanted to increase this local knowledge. But now I think it's even more important that these different portals work together. So that we can, in the end, have a picture of the entire African biodiversity. So the crucial point would now be the data exchange. So I wanted to ask whether it's already, or whether you already share your data with GBIF, because I think GBIF could be the end point. So all the African portals could, in the end, give their data to GBIF. But of course, I also very much like the idea of having this freshwater network, and we have already started to create such a freshwater network. And I would also like to invite all of you to be part of the freshwater information platform that I will introduce to you at some stage, and then also give you information how you can join, or how I think we could build up a real global freshwater network. So this is the one point, so data exchange. And the other one is, I forgot. No, the maintenance. So do you have funding after the GRS project? So, or is it funded by your ministry, or how is the future maintenance of this portal?
Thank you for the questions. Viana, you going first? You are still muted.
Yes, I think I can. So about the local resources, it's not that we are entirely depending on local resources and not leveraging expertise from abroad where necessary. Only that we looked at the issue of sustainability, and we thought we are better off strengthening our capacity first, instead of relying on foreign expertise, and then after project funding, which is actually a valid point. And actually, your last question on how the freshwater biodiversity portal will be maintained. That's one of the reasons we actually opted for the local expertise, so that after JRS funding, and in fact, JRS funding for this work has ended. So we are now looking at our institutions to maintain the portal. But of course, we have also worked with our IT team at the host institution, which is an affiliate, and we are positive that they will carry this work forward in terms of maintaining the portal. But we are also working closely with Vicent and NAGSOFT Technologies to ensure that even when we don't have funds, we can do something and just keep the portal alive. And that was the biggest motivation for looking at the local talent and skill. Instead of looking for an expert, you develop a system that is so sophisticated, and then after JRS, there's nothing you can do about it. And that is not our philosophy. Our philosophy is to just start on something small and grow as we improve on our skills. But of course, we are also engaging our organization, which is the National Agricultural Research Organization that funds our work, to take this work up and mainstream it in the organization funding. And we are positive this work will get funding from government, as we also continue, of course, to look for more funds, just like we have done. The recent GBIF project we just won is part of that effort to make sure that we have funds to keep this work moving. On whether we can share the data with GBIF through the portal. For now, we don't have that feature, but that is something we can look at in future. What we are doing now is that all the data that is in our portal at least can also be accessed through GBIF. We haven't established that direct link where the data from our portal just loads directly to GBIF. We can think about that. That's a good suggestion. I think we can think about it. Then the freshwater biodiversity network, I think, is a good idea. So Laban, anything I've missed that you want to add on? Laban, I see you are still muted.
Okay, yeah, you've said it all. What I wanted to share is this. This is our page on GBIF, and like Vian said, all the data that we have in the portal is also available in GBIF. And in fact, we have more data available in GBIF than is available in our portal, because even the data sets we have on invertebrates are available already in GBIF, but not the portal. So in total, we have 45,000 occurrences in GBIF in 21 data sets. And already being used, we have now 7 citations. So that is the GBIF contribution. So I think that's all. Maybe we can get more, the facilitator can get more questions from members.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks both of you. I'm just quite curious about the data flow. So I don't fully yet understand where the data flows in terms of your project has clearly put a lot of energy and a lot of effort into collating data, available data, and making that available in really impactful ways, it looks like. So that link with GBIF, do the data first get uploaded to GBIF and then used by the platform? Or do I not have it correct?
So of course, before we launched this portal, all the data we mobilized was published through GBIF, yeah. And like I said, GBIF has a predetermined template, has a fixed number of variables for the data it can take on. But we also know there are important variables or aspects which are of interest to the local users, but not incorporated in the DAWN core format. So we first mobilize and standardize and publish data for those variables which are compatible with the GBIF template. And then if there are other important variables for which we have the data but cannot be published in GBIF, now we come to our portal and add on those variables and then publish on our portal. Just like Laban said, that's why for now we have more data sets on GBIF than our portal, because what we intend to do is for our portal, it's not a matter of just duplicating what is already on GBIF. No, we are looking at if there is any information that is not published in GBIF, then we add on the dataset and publish. So it is, for now, it is basically from GBIF to our portal we do the mobilization, we do the quality control, of course, following the DAWN core standards, and then we publish on GBIF. Then we add more variables and more data that cannot be published on GBIF, and then we publish on our portal.
Thank you so much, Vianney, for clarifying. And it's so interesting that it's a slightly different approach to what we've taken in data mobilization and flow in FBIS. So yeah, I think it's going to be really useful to, on the technical side, to chat more about the different workflows, the different functionality architectures. Astrid, I see your hand up again.
Yeah, sorry. You said in your presentations that it's very important to appreciate the work of individuals and really make them or convince them to publish data. And that's why I was asking, is this portal also, so if I'm an expert, can I just enter one single finding like it is possible for FPACE? There I could go out into a sampling site and come back with a species list and immediately add it to the portal. Is this a functionality that you also have? Because to my mind, this is something that supports people to not put their data in drawers or in their local computers, but to immediately publish these data. And the more we can bring them to immediately publishing their data, the less we will have to mobilize data in the future. So for me, this is a very, very important part of a portal, that it also can be used by the single experts.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for the question. So the portal already has a functionality where anyone can contribute data and photos wherever you are. So you can go the field, make your observations, and load data directly to the portal. But it will not be published immediately because of the quality and issues that we have to deal with first. We also have to first confirm that the records you are publishing are actually properly identified and they are confirmed. If there is, of course, any suspicious record, we want to avoid such things, that you are in the field and basically you are publishing records which are not expected to be there in the first place. So we encourage our data contributors, especially when you are in the field, that for every occurrence record that you contribute to the portal, then it should be accompanied by a photo of that record. Then there, it is easier for us to verify that record and then publish. So it is a two-step kind of flow. You are in the field, you load your information in the portal, but it cannot be published immediately. So for us, we shall look at your observations when we have validated everything. Then it is published. Of course, the motivation for that is that we have had challenges, for instance, publishing our data papers. And the reason our data papers have been rejected is we don't have like enough photos to confirm the actual occurrence of those records from the localities where they are taken. So that's why we encourage our data contributors for every record that they are willing to contribute to the portal, it should be accompanied by the portal. So you are right, and I think that is part of citizen science. So if you're in the field and you want to contribute the data, that one you can do it automatically. The portal has a functionality for that.
Okay, cool, thank you. The only issue is the photo. This works fine with fishes, but if you're looking at the macroinvertebrates, it will get a little bit tricky to maybe verify a record based on a photo. But well, these are challenging challenges for the future.
That was my point. So I'll put my hand down. It works beautifully for fish, but for the little critters, it becomes a big challenge. But thank you. I'll take my hand down, Jim.
But of course, I know you will not be able to identify zooplankton in the field, will you? I think you need first to go to the lab and then identify those invertebrates. And then maybe if you have a microscope with a camera, then you can take a photo. And yeah.
All right. And of course, there's also the interesting possible interoperation with iNaturalist as well, which I suspect there may be some overlap with. But let's now hear from Sekiwa, who also has a hand up.
Thank you. I'm Sekiwa from Luana. We're implementing a similar project that they're implementing at Uganda. I just wanted to learn from them how they do data quality control checks. Who does that at the institution? Because I heard that they allow other users to submit their data, and then they don't publish it immediately. So who does the checks? Is it just experts from the institution? How do they ensure that there's quality checks, that the data is of quality all the time before publication? Who does that? Thanks.
Okay, thank you for the question. Maybe I can go first and Raban can come in later. So basically, when you share your data with us, we have a technical team that does the quality control. And I think when Laban was demonstrating the portal, he mentioned something about the working team. So those people you saw are actually our technical team who do the quality control in different aspects, whether it is fish, whether it is invertebrates, or algae or other taxa. So we have a technical team, of course, from different fields that does the quality control. Laban and I do the quality control for fish directly, but it is who who do the quality control.
Okay, thank you so much. So I get it that there is a team within your institute that looks at that before the publication.
Sure.
Yeah, so anyone in your team, I guess, is able to publish using that. Okay, thank you so much. On our side, we're also setting up similar teams. So we also just wanted to learn on how you're doing it on quality checks.
Yeah, and of course those checks are important. Otherwise, you can just publish data, and I mean, which is not fit for purpose. So we give that aspect utmost attention, and we especially for data which we have not collected ourselves. But even the data which has been which we have collected ourselves, we subject it to at least some form of peer review. So if I have gone to the field and collected data, it's not a must that because I have the admin privileges on the portal, it's not that I should just publish simply because I have powers to publish everything. No, the data is at least subjected to some kind of peer review for quality check. Even when Laban and I have gone to the field, then we have other people to look at it before it is published.
Okay, thanks for that. It's clear. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions for our presenters? Or any presenters want to add to that point?
I wanted to add something more. So in as far as quality assurance is concerned, so what is important are the experts. So I would suggest that if you do not have that capacity in your institution, then you definitely need a collaborator, a partner who's knowledgeable in the taxa you're working with to form the team, to complete the team that is doing the quality assurance. Thank you.
So like, of course, we talked about using the locally available skills for developing the portal, but that does not apply to quality control and and quality checks. Of course, we have a team. I mean, we have experts on fish and fisheries, and those are our collaborators we work with from different countries in Europe, America. So whenever we have species that we need assistance in terms of identification and quality checks, then we work with those people. It's not that we work, it's not that we are in a local kind of box. No. We call on expertise from abroad whenever we need, and we actually have some cool collaborators who are there to help, and we have maintained that collaboration and has helped us to move forward.
You were explaining how sometimes to inspire contributors to share their data, that there need to be incentives. Does a similar thing ever apply to the experts who are verifying records or data, or are those different kinds of collaborations?
When it comes to quality control, we basically rely on professional kind of satisfaction. It's just like you are invited to review a paper. I don't think you would expect a payment to review a manuscript. But of course, when it comes to the manual work of digitizing the data, which is a bit tedious and takes a lot of time, there you have to pay something to the mobilizer. But for the technical team review checks, that one is just like reviewing a paper or a manuscript. It is just based on goodwill and professional satisfaction.
Got it. Thanks. Don't see any more yellow hands popping up at the moment. Any more questions from any of the talks or comments? Okay, I have one question. Oh wait, there's a hand. Helen, I'll go after you.
Thanks, man. Sorry, I just had a flash. I thought get in quickly. You made a sort of one of your, firstly, I really thoroughly enjoyed all of your presentations, such a wonderful overview of your great project. So thanks so much for being part of our group. And then at the end, you made one of the things going forward, you were sort of interested in exploring the citizen science options, you know, in terms of how you could maybe expand the linking to citizen science. And I really wanted to obviously just highlight two aspects. The one is obviously the existing iNaturalist, which would be an option, but also another JRS project that is linked with our organization is that of Prof. Les Underhill, who has a virtual museum. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but it has a lot of, like, for example, Odonata map data that's collected by citizen scientists, but which is validated by experts. So the same quality of data, I think that, you know, you would want to mobilize. And it's not a South African virtual museum, it's an African virtual museum. And perhaps what I could do is just link you after the chat by email, just in terms of linking with Prof. Les Underhill and giving you the link to that virtual museum, because I think that might be a wonderful way for your users to put data in, that because we've developed the APIs to bring data from the virtual museum into systems. So they, you know, just a thought. So there might be a way to kind of create some synergies between those projects as well.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Helen. Really good point and good suggestions. So something I was curious about was the taxon lists, and we in South Africa we've had a similar situation where there actually wasn't when we started our bioinformatics project, there wasn't a clearly set out list of fish species. So we also didn't have that clear starting point. And in South Africa, one of the big challenges has been the ongoing taxonomic revision in a lot of the fish groups. But I'd be curious about the process that was undertaken to reach that final list, because these taxon lists, whether it's for fish or any other group, are so critical to information systems and platforms like these. Everything really hinges on them. Yeah, I think the process behind them is important, and I'd love to hear more about how you went about that.
That's a good point. These fish names are highly unstable, and they are undergoing constant revision and taxonomic updates. And at first, we relied heavily on Fishbase for all aspects to do with taxonomy and names. But at some point, we realized maybe I think Fishbase is also overwhelmed, and the speed at which they are working maybe is also not much. Those taxonomic changes and revision. So we use the catalog of fishes, the Shmara catalog of fishes, and also there's a cool project called etfish.org. Which has actually up-to-date one site. We use a couple of those sites to make sure that the names and the taxon ranks we are using are up to date.
Thanks very much. Would you mind putting a link to that site in the chat? I'd love to check it out.
Yeah, sure.
Cool, thank you. All right. Any other comments or questions from the audience? Yeah. Okay, I don't see any further hands up.
Well done, I think, to that team.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to echo what's already been said on not only a great presentation, but a really impressive, set of accomplishments. The work you guys have been doing has touched on all the important aspects, from data collation to building relationships with partners, to making sure the data reach destinations where they're going to have real impact in management and sustainability. And yeah, it's just been a really good experience to hear all about everything you've done, and well done, and keep going, and hopefully some good collaborations can come out of this session.
Sure, thank you.
Any final comments from any of the presenters, or should we leave it at that?
Okay. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to share our work and experiences. And personally, I'm happy and I'm looking forward, of course, to learning from you and your projects, and also maybe exploring ways for future collaboration. Because what I have learned is that making data publicly accessible cannot be a one-person effort. So we need those collaborations, and I'm happy for this initiative to present the work that is funded by JRS, by the Diversity Foundation for cross learning. So it's a good thing, and I'm happy that this has been a success. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks very much. So we will be meeting again for the next session in 2 weeks' time. And
Okay.
that will be on the 28th of April. And we'll be circling back to South Africa again, this time with Award and their Inwards project. So I think it's going to be another really exciting session. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, just a final word of thanks to all the presenters and all the participants. And Helen, anything you'd like to add before we end off?
No, just reiterate that it's been a great session, and thank you so much for all the effort put in. And I think there's been wonderful discussions. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Till next time.
Thanks all.
Bye.
Great session.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, great work.
Bye.
Great
Thank
session.
you.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Cheers all.
Bye.
Bye bye.